one of the things that I notice is that no matter how people have good intention with their own body, most of the time, a lot of them don't actually move in a way that is safe for their practice, especially regarding the spine. So one of the first things that I want to do with you is do a very basic exercise that will help you develop this ability to squeeze and contract properly in a way that makes your body safe no matter your position. So let's start with the Combat Cradle, which you will need for that to simply start by laying on your back. So for my teaching, guys, I will be obviously looking at the camera while explaining the Combat Cradle to you. However, when you're going to be the one practicing this, it's very important that you look up at the sky, because obviously this will allow your spine to stay in good alignment. So the first stage of contraction will be the pelvic arch. So the first step is really to make sure that we contract the tailbone forward. At that moment, you will notice that probably your knees are going to come up a little higher, which is the first step in realizing if you're actually contracting properly. Then, once this is done, just bring up your feet to the ground. So once your feet are naturally placed on the ground, just take a few seconds to actually make a few little steps on the ground and to see how it affects your contraction on your pelvic arch. Afterwards, the second level will be the lumbar arch. So you want to contract your abdominal towards your spine. So the next step will be to lift your shoulder blades. What I really want you to do here is that once you have a better idea of where they are, you're going to feel the little tips on the ground, and like we did with the feet, you want to kind of pass from one side to another, as if they were little feet that were again tapping on the ground. So just move like this, and obviously the more you're able to contract, the higher your shoulder wants to end up being. And this is where you really start to notice that your abdominal contracted and more goes even closer to your spine, and you'll notice that the contraction is much more strong. So for our final step, we will look at the cervical arch. So what you want to do here, it's really simple. You simply want to bring your chin towards your chest. And the cue to know if you're contracting enough or too much is if suddenly you're starting to have a really noisy voice, it's because you're contracting too much. So really here, just have it to a certain level that you start feeling a contraction in the back of your neck, which will obviously allow it to be protected. And again, what you can do here is just to lift a bit up and a bit down to work it a little bit more. So now that we separate each step, we're going to do them in a sequence. So like a wave, you're going to start with your pelvic arch. So you're going to slowly lift it up all together, then pass to the lumbar arch, And finally, the cervical arch. And if you want, after that, you can do the reverse. So slowly bring it down. The cervical arch, the lumbar arch, and the pelvic arch.
So this is our first exercise, the Combat Cradle. It might seem very simple for some of you, but you need to understand the importance of it. It's really a basic way to develop the most important contraction to protect your spine. Also, for the ones who might find it a bit more difficult to remember all these steps, just consider the fact that you just want to think about it once in a while during the day. So yes, it can be when you wake up in the morning, when you're laying down, but it also can be while you're waiting for the bus, for example, because you can do this sequence even standing up. So if I just stand in front of you like this, you can be very straight and then start by moving your pelvic forward. Again, be mindful of your knees, put a little bend into them. Afterwards, you're gonna start contracting your abdominal. So again, you just want to imagine your abs going towards your spine. And obviously, it might affect your breath a little bit. Don't be shy to exhale. And finally, for the cervical arch, again here, you just want to bring your chin a little bit towards your chest. And in my point of view, it's actually easier for you to see if you're doing it properly because you don't want to end up like this. So while you're standing up, it's a really good occasion to just practice bringing the crown of your head more towards the sky.